Well, folks, the only thing we learned about impeachment this week is that the Senate is not going to end up voting to remove Donald Trump, and that all of those would-be senators who may or may not side with Republicans, maybe they're going to go with Democrats. No, they all went with the Republicans, and they will for the remainder of this trial. But we learned something else today, folks. We learned throughout this week that the majority of Republicans out there, not in Washington, D.C., but just the rest of the country, they're not happy with Mitch McConnell. And that may be the only good thing that comes out of this impeachment. According to the latest round of polling, 71% of Republicans in this country are not happy with how Mitch McConnell is running this impeachment trial, because that 71% wants witnesses. They want to hear new testimony from new witnesses. They want new evidence. They want this to be a real and fair trial, and Mitch McConnell is not delivering that for these voters. Because remember, these aren't just Republicans, these are voters, folks. And if 71% of Republicans want these new witnesses, new documents, new everything for this trial, imagine what those numbers are for Democrats and independents. And yeah, they're even higher than 71%. So you have a vast majority of people throughout this country, across party lines, who say, yes, we want witnesses, we want documents, we want subpoenas, we want to hear from everybody. We want this thing to be real. Now, Republicans in D.C. have kind of mused amongst themselves, according to reports, thinking that maybe this impeachment sham might come back and hurt us. We don't know. But the truth is, it really could end up being a Pyrrhic victory for the Republicans. Yes, it's pretty obvious they're going to acquit Donald Trump. But the damage they do to themselves in the process, that may be something that they cannot overcome. I know a lot of those 71% of Republicans who say they're not happy with the way things are going right now. Most of them, a huge majority of them, are going to end up voting for whoever is running as a Republican where they live. That's a given. But if you can siphon off 3 or 4 or 5% of those angry Republicans who say, I don't like this, just that small percentage, in many races in this country, that's enough. That's enough to flip it. Either that 4 or 5% stays home, or they vote third party, or maybe they even vote for the Democrat. That's the least likely of those scenarios. But either way, taking 5% away from a Republican candidate can swing a lot of close races in this country. And maybe that was the Democrats' plan all along. I don't want to give them that much credit because they typically do not think that far ahead, and I do not think that this was their grand scheme all along, but if it works out in their favor, great. And they can probably go out there and claim that this is what they wanted the whole time, and we'll never really know if that was or wasn't. The important thing is to beat these Republicans. Not just Trump in the White House, but these Republicans in the Senate. Because even if we get a Democratic president at the end of this year, beginning of next year, a Republican-controlled Senate is going to kneecap them harder than we have ever seen. But that Senate, with the public so pissed off at them right now, that truly is up for grabs. And that has to make Republicans a little scared. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.